Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here with your all stuff, no fluff news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about CES, and for those who may not be aware, CES is currently underway. There's a whole lot of tech news coming out of CES and a number of exciting projects and a number of ones that may make you shake your head. I would argue here this is one of the more exciting things. It seems that Hyperkin and GameSir are teaming up together for a very interesting new modular game controller. Now, I've seen a number of images circling online about this one, and I think Engadget does a really good job of summing up this brand new controller. If you're interested and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links are within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. Taking a look, this is a mobile gaming controller, and on the right side there, that whole control scheme completely changes out. So based on the photos I've seen, there's a whole bunch of different layouts. I mean, I've seen 6-button layouts here, GameCube layouts, N64 layouts, and even more. I haven't seen a layout, though, that puts the joystick on the top and the buttons on the bottom. And taking a look at the controller as well, it looks like the left side can also change, but I haven't seen anything regarding that. I'm wondering if there's a way to put the joystick on the bottom and the D-pad on the top. I'm guessing there is, but I could be wrong. On top of that, I guess the triggers on this thing are Hall effect triggers, and the joysticks are capacitive joysticks, not TMR and not Hall effect. Very interesting overall. Unfortunately, I don't know the release date or the price. I recommend checking out the article for more information and more photos on this thing, but at the same time, I do think this may be very popular in the mobile gaming space, provided the quality is there. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about quality, next up here, we're talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation with Azahar. And Azahar continues to get better and better, and they've just released a brand new release candidate. At the time of filming, version 21.23.4, release candidate 1 is the latest and greatest version. Now, it is worth pointing out here, this is a release candidate, so there may be bugs and issues. This is not considered a stable release, but at the same time here, this is what they're gearing up to put in the stable release. I would argue this is more stable than something like an alpha or beta. And anyways, here there's a whole bunch of stuff. Some of this stuff we've talked about in previous videos because it was a part of the beta. I mean, for example, there's two different versions on Android here. One is called Vanilla and one is called Google Play. The Google Play build, I would say, is the inferior version, and the Vanilla version may be the better version. They say the Vanilla version uses a new method of file system access, which is significantly faster and more simple, but isn't permitted by Google Play Store due to its use of the permission system. And for Linux, and we've talked about this one as well, there's two versions of Azahar, Azahar.appimage and Azahar-Wayland.appimage. And they recommend here Azahar.appimage, and if for some reason the system does not support X-Wayland, then Azahar-Wayland.appimage is the version for it. And speaking about stuff on GitHub and also stuff that works with Android, next up here we're talking about something very interesting. Delta Patcher Android. I believe we've talked about this in a previous video or two, but Delta Patcher Android is a fork of Delta Patcher. It's an Android GUI software that is able to create and apply X-Delta patches, and the one supported by X-Delta tool developed by Joshua McDonald. So anyways, at the time of filming, Delta Patcher got a brand new update here to release version 1.0b, where B stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Beta, depending on how you wanted to interpret that. So they say here, this is a massive refactor of the file system code, so please report any issues with it. And since it's a beta, it may not be perfect. There may be bugs and issues. So in this update, apart from the major refactoring, they've added a setup page in order for the new permissions to be granted more easily. They've added translation strings. They've improved the UX. Now tabs can be swiped via gesture instead of having to be clicked. And general code cleanup, and it does look like they're gearing to put this on the Google Play Store. And speaking about new stuff, next up we're talking about Lego. And well, we're headed back to CES now, and Lego had a really interesting demonstration here called Lego Smart Play. And I guess Lego is evolving. Based on the announcement here, the Smart Brick is releasing in March, so just around the corner, and they say it's packed with technologies that bring play to life, including sensors, accelerometers, light sensing, and a sound sensor, as well as a miniature speaker driven by an onboard synthesizer, and much more, including easy wireless charging. Very curious. Based on what I'm seeing here, it seems they're trying to gear this for immediate success by placing it in some pretty heavy-hitting kits, like Star Wars stuff. I would say the smart brick really isn't up my alley, but maybe it's up yours. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about innovative new stuff, next up we're talking about Sony and AI and gaming and a brand new patent. And I don't necessarily know if gamers will be excited about this one or not. Fortunately, it looks like it's going to be optional. But anyways, it's being reported that Sony AI patent will see PlayStation games play themselves when players are stuck. AI-generated ghost player assistants would help out players who can't progress in a game. If you are interested in this one, Video Games Chronicle has a very interesting article about it. On top of that, the article does have some images from the patent to kind of showcase how it works. It's a really interesting concept, in my opinion. I'm not at all interested. This is definitely not up my alley. But at the same time, here it is, gaming news, and I can see it being used for people, for example, who are trophy hunting and not necessarily sure on how to do something correctly. Maybe. I really don't know here. I mean, realistically, there's difficulty levels within a game for a reason. Fortunately, it's optional. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you think it would be useful or if this is unwanted stuff. I mean, I'd rather them focus on making the game better and making the game less buggy as opposed to introducing AI to play the game. And that's where I think development costs should go. But at the same time here, maybe that's a hot take. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about AI, next up, we're kind of talking about the exact opposite. Kinda. I mean, let me know your thoughts on this one. I guess there's a brand new wearable headset that is powered by Neurotechnology. Neurable introduces Neurotechnology-powered gaming wearable headset with HyperX. And this reads your brain signals in a non-invasive way. So they say here, Neurable's neurofeedback prime system delivered measurable gains. Everyday gamers and esports athletes showed faster reaction times, improved accuracy, and a higher number of targets during FPS training sessions. On average, participants improved reaction time by 43 milliseconds, increased accuracy by 0.53%, and hit nearly 9 additional targets in a target shooting psychometric task. Really interesting. If this is real and not a gimmick here and is effective, I'd be curious to see how widely it gets adopted and also what the price point of something like this is at. I mean, if it is true and it's got like a 3% decrease in reaction time and an increase in overall accuracy, I could see professional esports players utilizing something like this to get the latest and greatest edge on their opponents. However, for the casual gamer, I don't see how this would be. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. It's a really weird and neat and interesting study, and I'm curious to see if it comes to fruition. And speaking about seeing stuff come to fruition, next up here, we're talking about the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Now, the Go 2 has already released. However, the SteamOS version of it hasn't. And we've talked about this one in a previous video when it was kind of leaked, and now Lenovo has confirmed it. SteamOS will be an option by default for the Go 2. Now, I don't know about you, but I think this is a huge win for Linux gaming and SteamOS and gaming handhelds in general. I'm glad there's more options out there. I'm glad SteamOS is gaining in popularity. And from my understanding, the Windows version will still be available. So I'm very curious to see which one sells better, because there's a very big however here. The IGN article states Lenovo hasn't released any kind of release date for the Lenovo Legion Go 2 with SteamOS yet, but I do know that it will start at $1,199, $100 more than the original Legion Go 2 with Windows. Why would SteamOS be more expensive? Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Lenovo has not released official pricing just yet. And I would be curious to see how this stacks up against the Windows version in terms of pricing. It wouldn't make sense that it'd be more expensive. SteamOS is free. I have no idea here. Maybe the price is in anticipation of storage and RAM prices going up and the Windows one will be increased in price as well. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see on this one. And speaking about new tech, next up here, we're talking about Belkin. And Belkin has introduced a wireless HDMI display adapter, and this thing caps out at 1080p 60 frames per second and doesn't require Bluetooth or wireless networks in order to function. This thing functions on its own. That is super interesting, wireless HDMI. I mean, they say right here, plug and play without Wi-Fi or network, no driver installation required. They do say 1080p and 60 Hz. Long-range capability allows for freedom of movement up to 131 feet or 40 meters. That's a huge distance. I'm guessing, though, at that max distance, it's probably not going to perform near as well. Could be wrong. Doubt it, though. Really curious about this one. They say latency below 80 milliseconds. I think that would be very interesting for retro gaming and maybe just gaming in general, especially if you wanted to do a wireless setup. Let me know your thoughts on this one. And speaking about gaming, kinda, and new tech, last up here we're talking about Razer. AI seems to be the flavor of the year anyway for CES, and I guess it was the flavor of last year as well. It's probably going to be the flavor of next year. Anyways, here, listen to this tweet. Meet Razer Project AVA, your all-in-one AI companion. From planning your day to analyzing spreadsheets and game starts. Maybe it was supposed to say stats there. Anyway, Razer Project AVA leverages advanced AI inferencing and reasoning that dynamically evolves based on your personal interactions. Select your 5.5-inch companion from an expanding library of characters from esports legends to custom anime. Inspired Razer designs. And there is Project AVA. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I don't necessarily know if this will shape up or if it's just a proof of concept or what ends up happening here. It kind of reminds me of Cortana a little bit, but just obviously not Cortana. This thing is being marketed as an AI desk companion. Unfortunately, I don't know the price just yet, but the full specs are up on the Razer website. This is 100% real. I'm very curious to see how many of these are produced, if it makes it to the mainstream, and how much it is actually adopted. Is this something that you'd be a fan of? Is this something you'd be interested in? I'm very curious. I don't necessarily think it would be for me, but I mean, if you're looking for an AI friend, this might be up your alley. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about today in the comments below, and we did talk about quite a bit, a lot of innovative stuff. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.